City live. What's up, Danny George in the chat? We might not have too many people get in here since we're doing it on a daytime on, on a different time today. So again, thank you all for joining me. Sorry, I was getting ready there. I was doing some yard work and lost track of the time, but here we are, man, digging in for another day of Pittsburgh Steelers football talk. Another day here on Mike Drop Sports as we continue to bring content every single day. Don't forget to hit the shit out of that like button. If you're not watching it now, you can watch it later. Like I said, we probably will be missing a lot of regular folks today since we are doing it in a way different time today. But that's all good, man. It's all good as we get through all this. I'm getting a drink here. Like I said, man, I was hustling out there. Redid another flower bed. I redid all my back flower beds at the new house today, or this weekend, and just finished the last one today. So, what's up, Dirty Davis? Didn't realize you were on this early. We'll have to catch the show later. Still working. That's all right, Danny. Dude, I'm trying some new things, guys. So if you're watching this show later after it reloads, what's up, John Broadway? If you're watching this after it reloads, guys, just know that that's what I'm trying to do. We're going to do our giveaway midweek. So we're going to play around a little bit here with the times and just see where this all works best for me in terms of my schedule and terms of everybody else's schedule too. So you guys get input too. You know, this channel is all about the fans of the Pittsburgh Steelers, fans of football in general, and you guys have a say in this too. So we're going to try our best to make it the best way we can in terms of time-wise and what fits best for everybody and where we need to be. So tomorrow we'll go back to about 8:15, 8:20 after we do this today. And we'll kind of like weigh it out on Wednesday and see exactly where we should be or shouldn't be in terms of time. Again, after this week, football practice for me will go down in time frame a little bit. So we won't be there as late. So we'll be able to jump back on around the 7 o'clock time frame. And this will give us that broad spectrum of time frames to work off of and kind of gauge where we want to be. Ooh, don't chug Coke after you've been outside too long. John Broadway asked, George T, what's up, man? John Broadway asked, what's your thought on Peyton Wilson and his performance? I thought he did pretty well. I thought overall you could say that it was a good performance in my eyes. Now, were there missed tackles? Absolutely. Did he get beat on certain coverages? Absolutely. But he is a rookie, and he is going to have growing pains. I don't care how good you are. Do I still feel that he will be the steal of this draft in 2024? Absolutely. I think that he demonstrated what you are excited about when you talk about a guy like Peyton Wilson. Sideline to sideline speed, football intelligence in terms of a nose for the football, heading toward the football, attacking the football. Those are the things you're looking for from these guys. And again, let's not get real high and real low about this game that just happened last Friday, that preseason game one. You got to remember exactly all circumstances involved in this, guys. You had the Texans coming in after playing already a game, so they were already tuned up a little bit. They had already played some different opponents, and they were used to being in stadium. As this was the Pittsburgh Steelers' first adventure in 2024 into a stadium environment, playing in front of the fans, playing against an opposing team. So we all have to take those things into consideration. And if we take every single variable that was involved, there's some things that you have to really like about this football team. There's some things that, you're not going to get terribly low on that maybe some other people are overreacting about. There's some things that some people are overreacting about in terms of good things too. So you got to remain even keel here because we are building. Well, the Steelers, not we. The Steelers themselves are building every single day. They're laying the foundational pieces each and every day, and that is important to this, to the fan base to see this team grow and the Steelers franchise as a whole. And there's lots of question marks though when I watched that game. But one room that really intrigued me that everybody thought I assumed that they thought was just going to be a complete disaster considering what the fan base base wants right now, and what it seems that the Pittsburgh Steelers want to do is add to it, and that is the wide receiver room. I thought that they came out, and for what they are, they did a good job. Not a great job, but a good job. I thought they were running decent routes. I thought they were getting open. I thought there was opportunity. Now, as far as the quarterback delivering the football there, I felt like there were some missed opportunities. I felt like there were some big whiffs along the offensive line. You saw Troy Fautanu let up 2 big sacks, but I think some of that attributed to an early injury, a leg injury that he had early in the game, but yet stood tall and tried to fight through it. And I think that did cause a little bit of some of his woes there during that game. I thought then you saw some things start to pick up when you saw Kyle Allen come in and you saw some different line combinations there. So a lot of things to be impressed about, but there are several things that I am worried about. There's worries, in my opinion, in that secondary that I thought was much improved, but I think they will still iron out those kinks. Again, guys, no Minkah Fitzpatrick back there. There are different things, too, that are going to change this ball club, especially on defense. TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Patrick Queen, Cameron Hayward, Minkah Fitzpatrick. The list goes on and on and on. And you didn't have those players out there. And I thought that this team would look vastly different. And a team that I felt like didn't look horrible. I felt like where they really lacked was special teams. That was bad. The center quarterback exchange with Justin Fields was bad. And again, they're not going out there with any real game plan, any real scheme. There's so many factors, man. And it's just not an easy answer any way you slice it in terms of certain position groups. There's a lot of variables that have to be weighed in, man. And I keep saying that, but I have to remind everybody of exactly what is all going on and what we all should be looking at. Yensberger. I like Yensberger. Dirty Davis, who is going to be doing returns? Obviously not Watkins. You think Cordell Patterson? Yeah, I think it'll be Patterson. And I say that because I just think that he is the veteran there, a speedster, a big body guy also. And I think that you want to see a little bit of a little mix back there on the kickoff returns. I think you want to see a speedster, and I think you also want to have a bigger body guy that can lay the hammer down a little bit also. So you're going to have 2 return guys back there. So I think you want a little bit of a mix, and I think that gives you a little versatility in terms of Danny Smith also, if you think about that. Because he is going to be able to call a play, basically. And I know people think like, oh, special teams, you're not calling plays on. Yeah, you are. You're calling different blocking formations, especially in this new style of the XFL kickoff that we've adopted here in 2024 for this season. You're going to call plays. You're going to have different blocking schemes, different techniques that you're going to use. You're going to want to use different returners and different skill sets back there to return the football each and every time, correlated with the blocking, and it's going to be a play. And I think that that's going to be something to watch and see how that develops. But I think Danny Smith definitely can get it done and make some cool shit happen back there. But I think it will be Patterson. I do, and I think you will see a lot of Calvin Austin back there. That's whom I think will be doing a lot of return duties. And do not be shocked if occasionally you see a Jalen Warren back there. And guys, do not sleep on this John Rice Plumlee dude, this 4th-team quarterback guy. He is doing everything he can to make this ball club. You see him doing things that are just out of the norm for what he is and what his position is and what he is supposed to be in this NFL rookie campaign of his. He is really trying to get in there. Could he be a gunner or something? I think he could be. Could he, get back there and return kicks? I think he could. Can he contribute and be a major contributor along the special teams front as a whole? Absolutely. And that makes a ball club sometimes. You make a ball club sometimes by being able to do those types of things. John Broadway, yes, ups and downs were very evident, but overall, I'm optimistic. I think you should be, guys. And John says that. Ups, downs, optimistic. Those things all are what you should be feeling right now. Because honestly, these preseason games don't tell you anything really about the season. You're really watching Well, I guess they do tell you something, but you really got to break it down in detail. You just can't look at a win-loss. You can't look at just overall statistics. You really have to turn on the tape a second time, probably. You really have to be able to go through each play and look at each individual player if you really want to get true God's honest assessments, and that's hopefully what the coaching staff does. I'm sure they do. But that's how you assess this play. It's not, an overall broad picture here. Would you like to see a good drive here and there? Yeah, you're going to want to see that here in about this week, game 2, 3. I feel like it's hurting teams not having that fourth preseason game. And I hated how long the preseason was in terms of how many games there were. And I was happy about it being taken away at first. But the more I see how important it truly was, I really am kind of missing it, actually, because I think in terms of team development, player development, I think we're losing some major reps there, man. Dirty Davis, love the way Peyton flies around. He's exciting. Yeah, and I think you started to see too, Dirty Davis, a lot of what we've been preaching here as a group, all of us, and not just me, you guys too in the chat, of exactly how fast I think this football team can be on defense. And I think that is going to really make a monster difference for this Steelers team in 2024, because you're going to take a team that I thought was defensively sound before all the giant injuries that occurred last year, and then you're going to add a bunch of speed that maybe they didn't have last year. Well, I know they didn't, not a maybe, they didn't have last year, and I think you're going to combine those two elements, and I think you're going to have an absolutely dangerous defense. Now, I think this secondary has to iron out a few of its issues, but again, guys, they're not scheming in the way that you would anticipate them to scheme every week during the regular season, playoffs, etc. There's a different level of play there. You're coming out in very basic vanilla defenses, and that goes for both sides. The offense should be able to take advantage of that. That's why you should see a lot of scoring in preseason games, because the offenses should be able to take care of vanilla packages and be able to really execute at a high level against vanilla defenses and basic defenses. You're not seeing tons of the different packages and switch offs and coverage adjustments in terms of audibles and things of that nature pre-snap. You're not seeing a ton of that stuff just yet. You'll start to see a little bit of it as the preseason continues to march on, but you're not seeing that stuff right now. Hooday. Come on, bro. That is the worst word you can ever say. Harmaby. We make fun of that so much. I gotta say it's the dumbest thing. Any team, we've had this discussion on this channel so many times. It has to be the dumbest, most uncomfortable thing to stand in a stadium and scream out, "Hooday! Hooday!" Who would want? I'd be embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for you guys to say that. John Broadway. So who do you think might get cut? That would be a surprise. I'm going to reserve that probably for the end of this week here. There's a couple that I have in mind. Give me till about Thursday or Friday. I'm going to rewatch that game again for about the third time. I think there might be a couple that might be of some shock to you, but I don't think there's going to be a tremendous amount of surprises. It's going to be a few. But honestly, I feel like this team is kind of easy to predict right now in which players are going to make the roster anyway. Mr. Who, let's go Ravens. Who's the quarterback you want? Definitely not Lamar Jackson. No, I prefer Russell Wilson, brother. And I do that because of veteran leadership. And I think Justin Fields deserves a second to catch his breath. Again, he's the guy getting a lot of first-team reps right now for your Steelers. Well, not your Steelers, but the fan base's Steelers. He's getting a lot of that, but due to the injury, and I think you're going to start to see a little bit of that table start to turn as Russell Wilson comes back to full play. The only way that Justin Fields takes any type of real significant shot at being the starter is if this injury is more than what Mike Tomlin's letting on, but I don't think it is. Boo, rat birds. Isaac, who do you think starts week 1 for the Steelers? Russ, for sure. I can say that with confidence. John Broadway, hey, what about Lamar Jackson? Do you think you'll actually do something other than choke in the first round again and again and again? And Mr. Who is he? Guys, once you pay a quarterback, and I'm going to tell this to Raven fans too, and this is not like dogging your team or anything, because you know I'm going to dog your team so much during the season that, that it'll be enough. But as we're here in this offseason, you got to remember a lot of these quarterbacks that take on these monster, enormous salaries of $50+ million a year, it becomes harder and harder each year that you pay that to win. And I can say that for sure. You have to be a team. If you have one of those quarterbacks with those monster salaries, you have to be a team that drafts so well. You have to hit on so many draft picks in order to continue to surround that player, especially a player like Lamar Jackson. Fantastic athlete. Probably one of the best athletes I've ever seen in my entire life is Lamar Jackson. And I'll say that and be comfortable saying that. But is he one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen in my entire life? Absolutely not. And I say that not dogging him, because I don't think Lamar's like some bad dude or anything. And I'm not saying that. But he seems to be friendly with people, the media. He seems to be a decent person. He doesn't seem to be like one of them real arrogant asshole type guys. So, but Lamar Jackson just isn't that guy that's going to go and hoist Lombardi trophy after Lombardi trophy. May he catch one and be lucky one day? Yeah, maybe. But the chances become less and less as you move through these guys' careers that get paid these enormous salaries. We see it with Ben Roethlisberger. It becomes hard. Yeah, maybe they squandered a couple chances later in his career. But when you paying, these monster salaries, it's very hard to win. It is. Mike Miller, we need to beat Buffalo Bills on August 17, 2024. I will be there at Pittsburgh Steelers game. Awesome, man. Well, glad you get to go to that game, but I don't want you to do this, Mike. I don't want you to go there and think a win is all that matters. I want you to go there, and I want you to pick players out that you're really interested in watching, players that you think need to improve, or players that are going to be guys that are young that need to be key players in this year's season in 2024. And you need to look at those players and watch them when they're out on the field and really try to identify, are they getting better each and every snap? Are you seeing them progress throughout the game? Are you seeing them look better than you saw them last week on the TV, when they played the Texans? Those are the things you need to be looking for. Don't worry about that scoreboard, because it's skewed. You might get your second team offense in there against another team's third or fourth depth chart guys on defense, and you might light it up, and you might look like, the greatest thing since sliced bread, but in reality, you're not. So even a win in the preseason doesn't necessarily mean anything, and a loss doesn't necessarily tell me anything, I'm looking at these first team units. I'm looking at what kind of play selections they're using in terms of setting their offense up. How are they getting in rhythm? Or are they running good, crisp, clean routes? How are the offensive linemen firing off the ball? Are they able to get to the second level on run plays? Are they able to be solid in their pass blocking schemes? Are they knowing what the hell is going on? Are the quarterback and center on the same page? Are the quarterback and the wide receivers on the same page? Those little things, Dirty Davis. I seen Jason Pierre-Paul looking for a contender. Any chance he slides into the golden spot? That one, maybe. I won't roll anything out, Dirty Davis. But, man, that one's a tough one. That one's a coin flip. That's going to really come down to you bringing him in as the Pittsburgh Steelers, the franchise, bringing him in, really catching a good look at him. That's got to be, really what it comes down to. And unless I can lay eyes on him and see that work out and kind of see exactly what kind of shape he's in, what kind of mind frame he's in, it's hard for somebody like me to really give you an accurate answer like that. And it's a chance, I'd say there's a chance, and the Steelers do need some depth there now when you're missing Golden. But can they do some other things? I think there's some other adjustments that they can do also that might bring players out of position. You might see DeMarvin Leal play a little bit of outside edge. You might see, which you did in a preseason game, but you might see him slide over and, help spell a Keanu Benton at times. You might see him slide up and play a weird technique up in the middle, those types of things. You might see a guy like that do those types of things to help this ball club out in order to fill maybe some of the gaps that they may have come regular season time. Mike Miller, is Russell Wilson good quarterback for the Steelers? I never seen him play before. Yeah, I feel like he will be, Mike. A solid guy. Quarterback that's won a Super Bowl, lost one, but I think he's solid, and I think he's exactly what the doctor ordered for your Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, guys, let's make sure we hit the shit out of that like button as you're here with us on a wanky, weird time for us here on Steel City Live, here on our daily live stream, but make sure you hit that like button. I truly appreciate it. If you're not watching it now, you can watch it later when it's finally uploaded back to the channel. Again, we're trying something new here on Mic Drop Sports, and if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button as we are about to hit 3,500 subscribers, so let's continue to push toward that. We only needed like 6 more, I think, when I got on, so let's make sure that we hit that number today. John Broadway, I think Randall Cunningham, who is better than Lamar Jackson. Randall Cunningham, yeah, he was good, man. I liked Randall. John Broadway, when the last preseason game comes, I'd like to see how our O-line has developed. I think that's going to be one of your biggest question marks, no doubt about it. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest things that we need to look at, absolutely. And I want to see who's in place. I want to see how long Troy Fautanu's going to be down with this knee injury. That's going to be a big telltale sign of maybe some of the things that the Steelers do. But what I think happens here, guys, is this. This is how I think your line shakes out, barring any trades or any type of things like that. I think it will be Zach Frazier as your starting center. I think it will be Isaac Seumalo and James Daniels as your guards. Broderick Jones as your right tackle. And sadly, which is I think a grave mistake, Dan Moore Jr. goes out there and is your left tackle. Again, barring any type of trade or anything. Young, Low, Wilson or Fields? Wilson. I'm saving my money to live in downtown Pittsburgh, living in Penn Avenue. Oh, awesome, man. Well, good luck, Mike. Hope you get there, bro. Young Low, Jalen Hurts is better than Lamar Jackson. I like Jalen Hurts because I think he is a more intellectually sound quarterback in terms of his processing ability. I think that he is able to do that at a far higher rate and a way better clip than Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. I think Jalen Hurts is definitely a guy that I wouldn't mind having on my ball team. Young Low, Jalen Hurts is better than Lamar Jackson. I think so, too. We did that one. John Broadway. Brock Purdy, do you believe that the 49ers are hoping to catch lightning in a bottle, as in another Tom Brady or I think it's a pipe dream, but I think Purdy's good. I don't think anybody will be like a Brady, I think that's unrealistic expectations to expect anybody to come in and win that type of crazy amount of Super Bowls like Tom Brady has won, guys, and you look at Brock Purdy and he just got a bag, bro. Is he that guy? I don't know. Here's the question, guys. Once you're not able to arm that type of weaponry around him, is he that guy? I don't know. Probably not. Dirty Davis read an article that said 49ers asking price for Aiyuk is now a 2nd and a 3rd round pick. I wouldn't do it. Do this. Would you? I would not. And I think his true value is a 2nd. This is exactly the framework that I would offer. And I'm going to give it to you. If I were the Pittsburgh Steelers and I were Omar Khan, the exact offer that I would give them, and I'm sure they probably won't take it, but they may eventually, I would exactly say, look, dude, here's my offer. I give you a 2nd and a 5th in 2025 and a conditional type pick of 2026, possibly. That might be my thing to like sweeten the deal if I had to throw in like a 4th or 5th in 2026 or something. I might do that. Potentially, to just sweeten the deal. But that would be my thing. 2nd, 5th, 2025, and I'd offer Brandon Aiyuk $28 million per season, roughly about $111 to $115 million over 4 years, with $80 million to $85 million fully guaranteed. That's exactly the structure that I'd put in place, and that would be his next contract when he comes on to the Steelers, to ensure you have him for 4 years. But I wouldn't have that take effect until after this season. So you would get him technically for 5 years if you really thought about it. Because I think if I were the Steelers, I would ask him to play out this deal, and I'd ask the 49ers to pony up half of his $14 million for 2024. That's how I would do it. So he's paid $14 million this season. I'd say, look, you're going to ride this $14 million out. We're going to give you that instant renewal on your contract that takes effect in 2025 when the Steelers have a lot of cap space, and the 49ers pony up half of that, and they get the picks, and you get Brandon Aiyuk. I think that deal works. I think it makes sense, and that's just the way I would do it if I were Omar Khan. Now, could I be wrong? Should I, maybe something different or better is out there? Maybe it's not enough. Maybe it's too much. I don't know. I think that would make sense, and I think it would be a logical deal. Pittsburgh Steelers have the best drum line. Here we go, Steeler. Yeah, no doubt. What's up, Chris? Corey Trice and Darius Rush ran with the first team today. I heard they represented themselves well. I heard Corey had an interception. Yeah, yes, Corey Trice has been doing good, Chris, and definitely somebody to look for, man. I think Corey Trice, barring health, barring any type of injury, could really shine. I really think that he's going to start to fill out his NFL body and really make some big plays for this Pittsburgh Steelers team in 2024. Also, Darius Rush has been a guy I like. You're not going to see him on any type of first team. I can assure you that for now. For now, I'm not saying that doesn't change. But another thing that you saw today, and this, guys, I have to caution you when you see these players start to flip around a little bit. The Steelers want to get looks at players. So if there's a player that maybe was injured, or maybe they haven't gotten to get a good look at just yet, you're going to see that player rotate back up into the tops of the depth chart. And the reason being is because they need to get a look at them. You know what I mean? So you're going to see players continually rotate in and out, guys, like that. And you'll start to see it solidify itself as we come to a close here in camp. But definitely right now you're going to continue to see that. They want to get looks at players. They want to see exactly what they have and what they don't have. For instance, you've seen Arnold today, Grayland Arnold. I'm sorry if I butchered his name, but last name Arnold. You saw him get in that slot cornerback role after some people might say wasn't the best performance from Beanie Bishop in the first preseason game. I took a little bit different approach with Beanie Bishop and watched him a little bit more intently whenever he was in there, when I was able to see him on the TV there. And I thought he did some things that were really good. And yet there were some things that I thought he did absolutely horrible. So I have really high hopes because I felt like he was able to do enough for me to be cautiously optimistic about him. However, again, you're going to see other players get this opportunity to see what they can do. So guys like Corey Trice, Darius Rush, Arnold, those types of guys. You saw Anthony Averett do some things too. So yeah, Anthony Averett, I think, got beat today by Van Jefferson or Calvin Austin for a deep one. John Broadway, Jason, 100% agree on the cap structure for getting Aiyuk. Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. You guys tell me what you think if I'm doing, if I'm off base, or if you think there's some adjustments you would give to those numbers. Nate Dogg, how do you think Justin Fields, what do you think about Justin Fields in the first preseason game? I think it was a subpar performance. Do I think that he did a couple things okay? Absolutely, I do. But I think there's a tremendous amount of room for growth, and I think that his camp performance so far has been absolutely overhyped a little bit. Do I think that he can do some special things? Absolutely. I like his speed, his athleticism, but I still was worried about his center quarterback exchange. Now, I'm not putting it all on Justin, and I'm not putting it all on the center because, let's face it, they're both professionals. They're going to have to take equal parts in that. But Justin Fields does have a history of being a guy that fumbles the football. And sadly, that's just the reality. That's the truth. Also, Justin Fields, I felt like did some things that I was happy about. And that was, you saw some of those plays to where he was able to get the ball out whenever it looked like, a sack most years, at least in the last couple years with Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky, even Mason, guys like that, was able to get the ball out. That impressed me. I was happy with that. I was happy with that first big pass play that he hit down to George Pickens on the crosser across the field. Was able to really anticipate, lead him nicely, deliver a good football with accuracy. I thought that was good. But yet again, I thought there were some things that he missed. I thought there was things in his processing that he missed, things like that. But again, it's vanilla game plans, basic plays. But he should have been able to take advantage of it, I think, in a little bit more a better way. We'll just leave it at that. And Mike Tomlin, boy, he was a mid-season form, not challenging that play where Van Jefferson was clearly in. And, he probably gave some bullshit excuse of, I knew he was in, but I just wanted to create that adversity for this offense and see if they were able to do it. And then, I wasn't applauding Arthur Smith and his play calling, where he wasn't even attacking the chains there after that, whenever they knew they needed to go a significant distance to get the first down. And I thought that bothered me a little bit because it is the preseason and you should take shots to possibly figure out some of those deeper intermediate to deep throws and get that timing down and at least take the chance there. What do you have to lose in the preseason? Nothing. I think you should attack those sticks and really try to get your offense in a good rhythm. What's up, Pittsburgh Reels? John Moore. Justin Fields needs to relax under the center. Then from shotgun. Yeah, and you got to look at Justin Fields probably throughout his career. Where has he been more than anything? And that's in the pistol in the shotgun type setting. Under center probably isn't his most comfortable spot, and that's not for a lot of these guys nowadays. It's like the pistol, the shotgun, blah, blah, blah. I mean, even my youth team, we run a lot of the shotgun, the pistol shit. So, it is what it is. I just think Justin Fields has to, yes, just what you say, John, relax and get his processing ability up to snuff, man, because right now it's just not, guys. And we have to be honest about that. Does he hit some plays? Absolutely he does. But remember the plays that he's hitting up at training camp, he's not going to be hit. He gets an exuberant amount of time, because he's not going to be hit. Those things sometimes can be a little bit misleading, and I think people need to quit playing and hyping him up overly, hyping him up when reality is what it is. TD, hey Jason, just noticed the show. Yeah, man, I'm trying a new thing, TD. If you rewatch it, I explain. I'm going to try to do a little bit different time here today, just to try it out a little bit. And I know some people get mad at me later. I'll be getting messages later. I missed the show, pissed off. But that is very flattering and humbling when people say that. So I definitely, that's cool as hell, man, when people are pissed they missed the show. Dirty Davis, DeMarvin Leal looked good too. Moving him to the edge helped. I think he played the edge last year, Dirty Davis. He's played the edge a couple times. And I don't think that's what helped him. I think what helped him now, or what's helping him, is yet another year in this league. And also, I think he dropped a little bit of weight in terms of where he was last year, 18 pounds, to where he's able to do a little bit more, be a little bit more versatile, or so, something like that on the edge, as opposed to being slower, lack, maybe some of the agility that he was lacking last year because he was a little bit heavier. So, I like him. I'm not saying that he did super well, because I don't think he did. I think he had a good game, though. I think that he played average, and that's, I'm not getting fired up about a guy that's been in the league multiple years and hasn't done anything just yet. So I am going to say that I am cautiously optimistic about him, and I really wish him the best, and I hope that he starts to find a home. And I think Sadly, he's just going to have to continue to be that Swiss Army knife, as Mikey T likes to say, because I think he's going to have to fill some of the gaps. He's going to have to be a stopgap. He's going to have to be able to slide in the middle, slide to the outside. He's going to have to do a lot of different things. And I think that's what brings his value to this football team, to be honest. So hopefully, man, hopefully he does good. We'll keep our finger crossed, bro. Chris, Van Jefferson is faster than most people think. Yeah, man, Chris, I've been warning people about Van Jefferson all offseason since the Steelers acquired him. And I've been ridiculed pretty good about it and told that I don't know ball when I talk about Van Jefferson. And I just have to continue to warn people. This guy was very, very good whenever he was healthy. The one time that he was truly healthy for a long stretch, he has a very short NFL career. This is still a very young guy in the league. And I got to tell you guys, I think there is true potential there. Is he, a slam dunk number 2? No, I don't think so. But I think he can definitely be a third, fourth guy on any depth chart and be a major contributor. I definitely think that. And I think that he could step in and spot start and do those types of things. I definitely think he's a solid dude, man. A solid player. Nate Dogg, do you think Mike Tomlin is the coach to make the Steelers dominant, scare teams to play again? I don't think anybody's scared to play anybody in the NFL. I just, these guys are monsters, dude. I think none of them are scared of anybody. Do I think Tomlin can bring back the mystique of the Pittsburgh Steelers and perhaps, create that energy, that vibe around them again of dominance? Maybe, probably. I don't know. He's had a long time here that he's not succeeded. Decade of no playoff success. It becomes worrisome and troublesome, and I will give it to him. Players do want to play for him, but it's not equaling success onto the football field, and that's the biggest thing that we're lacking right now, and that's the most important thing. But do I think he can do it? Yeah, I think players like him enough that he can get it done, but he's got to make some changes this year, and I haven't seen those changes executed enough just yet. I did applaud him for bringing some outside coaches in, Arthur Smith, Arts, Tom Arth, guys like that, Coach Zani, Coach Z, in the wide receiver room. So I applauded him for those things, and I think those were important moves that he made. But man, did he look in midseason form when he didn't do that challenge. I think you got to be, as a coach, I don't care if it's preseason or not, you need to be up on that challenge shit, and you need to be up on your situational football, your time management, roster management, shit. You got to be on point, man. Justin Fields needs to have Debo to jump out and scream that I'm trying. Yeah. What's up, Oscar? Dirty Davis, what about Jeremiah Moon? Fluke, or can he make the roster? Don't know much about him. I think he can make the roster, and it's going to depend on the depth of that outside linebacker room. Jeremiah Moon, I don't think he's a fluke. I think he can definitely be a small role player, a contributor, a guy that comes in and does a couple snaps a game, a 5, 6, 7 snap a game guy. I think he could be a teamer also, a special teams type player. So we'll see. I think he can make the team, but it's just going to depend on who's around him, But I think he can do it. I don't think he's a fluke. Rachel Tomlinson is old news. He needs to go. Oh, Tomlin. Yeah, Tomlin is old news. He needs to go. Yeah, he's not had any crazy success here in over a decade, guys. John Broadway hails freaking, yeah. Oscar, I just hopped on. How long you guys been on for? 38 minutes and 34 seconds right now. We're trying out a new time today, Oscar. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard right now, and I think Mike needs to resurrect his career here a little bit in terms of just putting a winner out there, having some success, allowing this fan base to go on a ride, and enjoy a season without, tons of just controversy and tons of mismanagement, guys, basically, frankly, to put it honestly. All right, guys, let's make sure we are hitting the shit out of that like button here in our different time. We're trying this time frame out. Our likes are way down, man. We only got like a handful or like almost 10 or something. Usually we're like 20 something already. So let's make sure we get that like button hit. You can do that easily. You can get up in that right-hand corner. There's 3 little white dots for some of you, and you can hit that drop-down box. Like button will pop up there. You could select to like it. You could back out of the live chat, hit the like. It's easy. Hit the like before you leave also. So it's easy. It's free, and we usually get, a decent amount. So let's get those likes up. I know we're on a different time schedule, but maybe this gives us the opportunity to speak to some of the fans that we don't normally get to speak to on a regular weekday basis. And join our chat. But this show here, Steel City Live, here on Mike Drop Sports, we try to incorporate you guys, Steeler Nation, the fan base of football in general, to have your voices heard, to actually have your thoughts talked about on a live stream and not just be ignored and not just cherry pick ones that tailor to that person's topic for the day. We're going to talk about it all. We're going to try to incorporate you guys and allow you guys to have your voice heard as much as possible. So make sure you support us by hitting the like button, hitting the share button, and also hitting the subscribe button. That's big for us. I truly appreciate it. We only needed like 6 more whenever we came on to hit our 3,500. Wasn't a goal. 5,000 is our goal before the season starts. So we are at 3,000. Yeah, not quite there yet, guys. We're almost there. So let's make sure we get to that 3,500 mark here today. That'd be awesome. Let me see. Let me get back to my thing here, guys. I switched off of it. I always do that. I bring the live stream up here so I can see the chat down here too on my other computer. And I like to be able to see the chat, and I closed it out because I was looking at subscriber count. Oscar, we fumbled the Killer Bees era badly. If we had a chance, that was it. It was a chance, and that was a giant. It was a failure, man. And that was a tough one to swallow, guys. Now, was it all Coach T? No, but that was a really a giant missed opportunity, man. John Broadway, sadly, the comparison to the Bengals and their run of so many years of not doing well has rubbed off on Tomlin. It seems like it, doesn't it? Oscar, I still wake up in cold sweats yelling Jesse James was a touchdown. That was a blatant ripoff. I don't care what anybody says. That was a touchdown. That was a hideous call. Really sad. That brings that AFC Championship game that year to Heinz Field, Acrisure Stadium, and maybe the outcome is a little bit different then. You never know. It puts the Steelers in a definite different position that year. John Broadway, he's talking to Oscar. All right, guys, any comments, questions, and concerns, make sure you guys throw those in the chat as we continue through the show. We'll probably go for about another 10 minutes. I'm going to have to start getting my kid ready for football and start getting that kind of stuff done. But this is game week for us. Our small kids go out and they play their first regular season game at University High School Stadium. Here in Morgantown, West Virginia, the Cheat Lake Chargers will take on the Clay Battelle Seabees. So that'll be cool for our kids. It's their first game of the season, their first live action. So they're super pumped, super excited. All I've heard in my house all weekend is it's game week. It's game week. So yeah, it's been fun. So yeah, give us some support in the comments whenever we have our game next week. Well, this weekend coming up. Kevin Schroyer, that's always my complaint. If Tomlin was the guy the media says, we'd have had at least another ring. Any coach would kill for the Ben Bell Brown combo. Yeah, and I got to say, guys, some of that was the Ben Bell Brown combo itself. Yeah, they're to blame for some of that too. Now, is Tomlin a major contributor to some of those failures? Absolutely. He has to take some of the blame for that. So it was a missed opportunity, man. No, it's elementary school kids, man. I coach our youth teams. Well, youth is also middle school, but our younger kids. My kids are like range, from kindergartners to like third grade. So definitely littler kids. My son's in third. Well, was in third. He's going to fourth. So this is his last year on the young team. Dirty Davis, surprised your kid hasn't come in looking for something and left the door up. Yeah, I know, dude. You're right. Well, we're at a different time frame, so he isn't looking. He has got his thing on charge. He's got to get back in school mode, so you won't be seeing him on those games as much, man. Epidemic. I live right by University High, so I'm always down to support local football. Oh, man. Well, that's awesome, dude. Maybe I'll see you around, but you'll see me scouring the sidelines. Yeah, I coach the kids. We play early in the morning that day, and then our older kids will play. Yeah, exciting for these kids, man. I'm super pumped for them this week. Game week, man. Game week. That's cool you live so close. I live right on the other side of Cheat Lake, on the other side of the lake from you. If you live by the high school, I'm on the other side, like across the bridge, closer to PA. I live kind of where you're going up to Falling Water. I live like down below there. John Broadway, have a good night, Jason, and thanks for giving us our voices to root for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Later, dude. See you, man. Yeah, guys, we are definitely down on viewership here today so far because this is a very odd time for us to be going live. So, again, if you're new to us and you just got the opportunity to see us today, make sure you give us some support. Hit that like button, hit that share, subscribe. Keep coming back and talking with us. Again, we're not going to give you this big box media bullshit take that you get from a lot of places. We're going to try to give you the most honest, sensible answers that we can. We're going to allow you to have your voice heard because I don't know everything, man. Nobody does. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm better than everybody or pretend to know everything. So, again, we want to have your opinions and your voices heard. So, again, man, this is an opportunity for anybody that may be new here to go ahead and hop on and join our community, man, of thousands of fans, literally now. Thousands, almost 3,500. So let's hit that 3,500 mark today. We only needed, again, like 6. Kevin Schroyer, I grew up in Westmoreland County, close to Fayette County in Pennsylvania. Morgantown was like an hour from me. Dude, yeah, I grew up in Fayette County, Pennsylvania, Kevin. Connellsville. Good old Connellsville. All right, guys, anything else you guys want to talk about, make sure you're putting it in the chat. Again, we won't be live tonight after Connellsville. It's closer to Uniontown. Yeah, so we won't be live at our normal like 8:20, 8:15 time frame today. So make sure, again, that you spread the word to anybody else that we won't be live if you talk to any of our regulars. Some of you are regulars and talk back and forth with each other, so make sure that you let them know, hey, you're going to have to watch the replay. But if anything happens from now until then, we will be back with a show. We'll do a show. Oh, cool, Kev. I know a lot of Schroyers. One of my buddies growing up, Jess. You know Jess Schroyer? He's one of my buddies growing up. Steelers have a difficult schedule. That's from Keith Richard. I think it's not as it's difficult. What's difficult? Yeah, Jess the barber. Yeah, that's my friend, bro. Yeah, I ain't talked to him in a few years. Well, several years, man. But definitely we were tight for a very long time. We used to hang out a lot. We have a lot of drunken nights together. Oh, nice, Kevin. Jess and I used to go and get down, man. There was my kid. Somebody said about coming in. I hear him. What are you doing? Hurry up. Hey, he's coming to get his game. Make sure you close the door. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool that your cousin. We're talking about the Steelers' schedule, though. Yeah, it's difficult, but the only reason that it makes it difficult is because the Steelers are stacking so many of those games back to back of serious importance, and that's the only thing that's difficult. You play these teams every year, so that's no different, So that's not making it more difficult. It's just the stretch, and you're sprinkling a little Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles into it. Yeah, I know. Jeff passed away. God rest his soul. He passed away. All right, guys, we're going to start wrapping it up. So if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, anything else you want to put in the chat here real quick, again, we're going to start wrapping it up. Another day and another dollar. Pittsburgh Steelers football. Thank God we didn't have to talk about the Aiyuk thing over and over and over again today, like because that's what all we've been talking about forever. Here's one thing from the sporting news. They revealed NFL Insider. This is from Mike Moratis. NFL Insider reveals Pittsburgh Steelers contract offer to Brandon Aiyuk. This is from the Sporting News, and let me see what it is. The Steelers' offer was around $28 million per year. That's from same as several other seasons. So that was about right, guys, where I was guessing that they should be, about $28 million. I said about 111 to 115 with about 80 to 85 million fully guaranteed. I thought that was probably a fair guess, I thought that would work for both sides. This is another tweet. I don't know about this dude. Nah, I won't read it. I don't want to give him no props. All right. Dirty Davis, that dude Juan Edwards, kid looked good. What you know about him? He is a one-trick pony. I know that I think that he could be good. I think he could be sound, decent running back. If he was the third back on this football team, would I be, upset or thrilled either way? No, it'd be just what it is and just see how he develops. You know how running backs are, man. You don't have to be a highly drafted, highly touted guy to end up being really good in the NFL. So, runners are a different breed, man. We'll just have to continue to watch how he does, man. But I think he's all right. I don't think he's one trick pony. I think he can do some shit. We'll see, though. Being versatile out of the backfield is the most important thing right now, I think. You got to be able to come out and catch some passes and still be able to run downhill and be aggressive and, pound the rock, man, control the time of possession and things of that nature. So definitely something that you have to do. You have to be able to do both. And that's why I really like Jaylen Warren. That's why I really get pumped up about him because I think he can do both. Coming out of the backfield, being able to run the ball with force and agility and sidestepping people and still having those moves and speed, still having that burst. I like guys like that. Do it all, guys. That's what you need to be as a running back, man. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. So thank you again for joining us. Again, if you're not watching it now, you can watch it later after it uploads, which shouldn't be long. This isn't a terribly long show, so it should pop up pretty decently quick. You should be able to watch it, so it should be available. Again, welcome to all our new people that saw us today for the first time. Again, this was an experimental time to go live, so maybe we still will get on later just to have a little brief one, but I doubt it very seriously. Tomorrow we'll be back about 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then again, next week, guys, is going to be a different animal because our practices for my youth team will get a little bit shorter in time, so they won't be as late. So we'll be able to get back onto our regular schedule that we used to do. So we'll see how this all works out and what time works best for everybody, and we'll see how the numbers are and viewership-wise and all those good things. So turn on your notification bell. You'll know exactly when we go live every day. So until tomorrow morning, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace. Thank you, guys.